everyone, and welcome to today's World Session for September 15th, 2022. So make sure you're nice and cozy, get yourself settled in. If you're on with me live or if you're listening after, just go ahead and take a moment. You can even press pause if you need to make sure that you're in a comfortable position, no distractions, and sit back and receive. So I want to say a little sorry for the background noise if you can hear it. There's some yard work happening, some lawnmowers going off. So I don't know if you hear that on your end. So apologies for the background noise. And here we go for today's World Session. So just taking a moment of silence. You can do the same for yourself. Taking a moment of silence. The first place I'm going to by saying that is in the ears, and how the ears are so inundated with picking up messages from the outside world. So talking, you can have construction noise or the hum, so electrical hums, noise from neighbors or music when you go into a store. There's just so much bombardment. And then also on the subtle sense, your own inner voice. So the constant talking within, hearing yourself subtly. So that subtle sense of hearing, your own voice, it's constantly on. So we need to balance the ears. They're just inundated. So we're gonna dump overwhelm, and we're gonna actually dump it from the ears, the ear canal, the eustachian tubes, the eardrums, even through the cartilage and the skin from around the ears is really sensitive, even going down into that tubing that goes right into, or it connects into through the back into the throat. It's inflamed, it's sore. I can feel it also impacting the TMJ, this constant bombardment of always hearing things. So gonna go ahead and gonna balance out. We're gonna do reduction of overwhelm to the ears and also to the sense of hearing. So both ways. Gonna do it through a switching technique. So this, gonna do switching technique to the ears themselves, switching technique to the eardrums, switching technique, which helps reduce anxiety, reduces overwhelm. Woof. It's a lot of energy moving here. There's a yawn. Through the ears, and then also doing a switching technique to the actual sense of hearing. There's just so much going on. We've got to anchor that to the heart for harmonization and balance, bringing back the natural consciousness of the ears, right? So that filter around the Wei Qi, the Wei Qi of the ears feels thin and over bombarded. We're gonna do a Wei Qi repair, which is also outside the ear and inside. Wei Qi covers. There's a Wei Qi within, and then also mouth. Mouth to anus, front and back. Your Wei Qi is that outer protective layer. So we're doing a Wei Qi repair to the ears, inside the canal, the eardrum, and then outside to give a little bit more shielding so that not everything seeps in. Even though you can hear it, it doesn't need to be registered, or it doesn't need to impact you the same way. Taking a nice deep breath. The Wei Qi is thin, very thin around here. So I'm just fixing. We're going to go ahead and watching that Wei Qi repair, and then anchoring that to the heart. And then it's coming in the nervous system, how these both the outside noises, the life, the EMF frequencies, the microwave frequencies, the constant buzzing of electricity, let's say of fridges, of microwaves, of your cell phone. Even though it doesn't buzz, it does emit an electrical frequency. Your ears could be picking that up subtly. Electrical lines. And we're also getting people noise, car noise, traffic noise, city noise. We're just absolutely inundated. Oh, and you go into nature, this is over the last 100 years, or I would say like the last 100 years, we've been living in very urban communities, and it's impacting that nervous system, right? Less trees, less nature, less quiet, information overload, noise overload. So in that nervous system, and doing a switching technique to the nervous system to bring it out of overwhelm and hyperness, right? That hypervigilance, that I need to take everything in, and it just feels like a bombardment. So we're going to dump that from the nervous system. Oh, and ground that into all of this formula needs to be grounded into the earth. So, and we're going to tap right here. So, there's a nice release. Where are we going? Let's see where we're off to. We're going into circulation. We're going into nerve circulation. There's some places that I can see that the nerves are throughout the system, that they're hypervigilant, so they fire off, creating too quickly, creating nerve pain. And then some places where you've got numbness, where there's numbness and the signals are not firing. So we want to repair the nerve supply to from and within. Was really big, the whole body. And we're going to connect that into the brain, so that the brain is healthily working in a way that is giving the right functionalities. It's giving the right messages to the nerves, when to receive synapses, when to respond, that the nerves are working in a healthy way, that they're not creating too much static electricity and pain, so they're that sharp nerve pain, and then also that they're not numbed and you're not picking up anything. So where's that numbing of the skin or the numbing of the nerves? We need to do a repair to that nerve system. Whoa. Oh, I need to do a repair to those nerves. It's really big, linking it up into the brain. Oh, we're going into a specific part of the brain? Yes. I need to quickly look this up. So we're going into, where are we going? Just give me a quick minute. We're going into the glial cells within the brain. We're going to go into the glial cells. This is where glial cells. In the brain. Right, it's in the brain and the spinal cord. So we're going in there into the glial cells. Ooh, I'm getting really dizzy. And we're going to do there's a repair to the glial cells. And by repairing the glial cells, we'll do a hydration as well to support that repair. That glial cell repair within the brain and the spinal cord is going to help in the regeneration and repair of any damaged nerves within your body. It's going to link that you can think about for yourself if you have nerve pain, whether it be in your back or in your leg. It could be sciatic pain, it could be smaller nerve pain. Wherever your nerve pain is, if you have any, or this is going to help repair, restore, and regenerate healthy nerve and healthy nerve function. Oh, I'm feeling that through my back. And then at the same time, we're going to go ahead and do, we need to support the nervous system, the whole nervous system, and help support this repair to the glial cells to help repair those nerves. Or we're going to just bring in the consciousness of support into the nervous system. We're going to dump any kind of, that was a really big yawn. That was a really big, that was a really big energy. I'm feeling a little dizzy. So you can breathe through this if you're feeling dizzy yourself. You're going to bring in the consciousness of support into the nervous system. Oh, and then I'm just relaxing. And then dumping, we got to dump those filters from the nervous system within the myelin sheath. We're doing a 5 senses dumping from the myelin sheath. We're going to anchor that to the heart. Oh, so that the myelin sheath around the nerves is flexible and is doing its job of it's a natural protector to the nerves. It's like the sheath that covers the nerves. So if you want to think about your nerves as an electrical cord, and the myelin sheath is that coating around the electrical cord. Now, if that electrical cord coating is really stiff, then the nerves underneath are impacted as well. They get really rigid. We want nice, flexible myelin sheath, and so that nerve repair can take place. The myelin sheath is also the place where you hold all of your belief systems. And when they get rigid thinking, then the myelin sheath also gets really rigid. And so dumping those 5 senses from the myelin sheath. So all of your filters on sight, taste, hearing, smell, and touch, anchoring it to the heart, is dumping those beliefs, dumping belief systems, all of your filters, not all of them, as many as are ready to be dumped. So that those saying is believing, or something smells fishy, that's where those sayings, those colloquialisms come from. So we're dumping 5 senses that are impacting those filters that you have that are rigid and stringent and controlling beliefs about things from the myelin sheath. Oh, I could feel this right down my left side and into my right brain. So I'm just feeling the work. You could be feeling this yourself. If you're sensitive or not, it's still working. I'm going to anchor that to the heart to dump that. And then I can see the chi flowing much better up and down the spine. The spinal fluid is actually repairing simultaneously. As soon as this glial cells started to repair and they have the consciousness of support, the myelin sheath seems to be more flexible now. That repair to the nerves are happening throughout the whole body. I can see the nerves firing. We're going to do a circulation of chi through those nerves, gently, 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 not too much, just to make sure that the synapses are in good communication with each other. That feels a little too much, so never mind. We won't do that circulation. Right now, we need to just stay with the repair. Yeah, no, that's too much, so never mind that. Okay. I'm going to tap that in right here. Take a nice deep breath to receive. And just take a nice deep breath. Soaking this all in for yourself. Where are we going? We're going into the skeletal system, specifically into the hip bones for stability. So now there's this there's, this thing, this drives me nuts. Oh, I just want to be in balance. Your body, mind are constantly doing a balance. Even if something seems like it's out of balance, you are still in balance. Your body is made to naturally heal. That's the function. That's the default mechanism is, whoa, that was really, that there is constantly a balancing act going on within your body, constantly. Also within your emotions balance. Sometimes they're higher, but then they do their job, they naturally heal, they move, they're constantly in motion. Your body is constantly doing this balancing act, constantly. Notice this is like the heartbeat. It's not stagnant. And when people say, oh, I want to be completely balanced, well, that's like flatline. That's flatline. If your heartbeat is balanced, then it's a flat line, constantly moves, constantly moving. And this is the fluctuations of life. It's constantly moving. Sometimes the balancing act or balancing needs to be, there's bigger gaps between. Sometimes it's smaller, but there's constantly a balancing act. So to say that I want to be in complete balance all of the time is anti-life. And we need to dump that consciousness from the hips, right? The hips need to be flexible for both men and women. They're constant with each step. You're constantly readjusting. Oh, I'm going to cry. There's so much sadness. There's so much emotion in here. Constantly readjusting to each step that you take in life, balancing throughout your day. Oh, this foot goes up here, so your hips adjust, and then your shoulders do. Everything has its integrity to it. It's all connected. And there's this feels like this complete disregard for the natural rhythms of life. Oh, and then the hips get stiff, they get stuck, the shoulders get tight. So we're dumping this pathological consciousness of what you think balance is. You can, some days you eat a lot, some days you don't. Now you're in balance. Some days you drank a lot of water, the next day you don't drink as much water and it balances out. There's always a balance happening. Sometimes you need more sleep, so you sleep, I'd say 10 hours, 15 hours. The next day you need less sleep, for example. These are just little examples to show you that the body knows what to do. Body knows what to do. And then in comes the thinking, there's something wrong with me. I'm not in balance. I need to get into balance. But the body is always shifting. The cells are always changing. And the body's mechanism is preservation. So it's always looking to heal. It's always healing. The body is always regenerating and healing. Sometimes it needs a little support, but it's the natural state of the body is to regenerate and to proliferate health. So we're dumping that consciousness of I need to be in balance, or thinking that you are out of balance, causes instability throughout the whole skeletal system. So we're dumping that consciousness from the bones, from the hips, especially because they're the foundation. Those are the foundations of the hips. There's the foundations. That's where your links up into the spine. And those are our foundations. You think about it as a house foundation. Well, if we're dumping that from the bones, deep within the bone, right down through the bone marrow is where that belief system is sitting. All of this self-doubt. I'm not in balance. I have to be in balance. I should be more balanced. Oh. So we're dumping that from the bone marrow. I'm going to bring in some Reiki energy to support that. And dumping that pathological consciousness out of the bone marrow, out of the hips. And then bringing that hips back to its natural consciousness of flexibility, foundations, and then being in tune with the flow of your life, or the flow of life. There we go. Oh, I could feel all of the bones moving and readjusting with the hips. So you may feel when you step like, oh, I feel looser in my hips, or maybe your hips were too loose and they have to tighten up a little bit. So there might be a readjusting period to this link, to this portion of the formula. Okay. And we're going to tap cortices to the three brains to support all of the repair work that's happening now. If you want to learn how to tap your cortices, you can go ahead and shoot me an email or send me a little message, and I'd be happy to show you how to tap and tell you about the benefits of tapping your cortices. And that's linking into the three brains to support this whole session. Woof, that was really powerful. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go ahead and share this out. You know, we can all use some TLC, so get this out to your friends, your family, your coworkers, get it out onto social media. So if anyone who comes across it and needs this, that they can click the link and listen to this for themselves. Please go ahead and subscribe and like and share, and millions blessings to you. And thank you so much for being with me here every week, whether you're here with me live or listening on your own. See you all next week.